Hey, it's Naomi. So before we dive in, if you've ever finished an episode feeling like, okay, I needed that, but wish you had something to actually walk you through the healing, well, that's exactly why I built Elevate Me. It's a self-love journey, an AI guided, but it's written in my voice. Meditations, workbook, real tools for real healing. So head on over to studio.com/Naomi to check it out. All right? All right, so let's get into today's episode. I came back from vacation proud, 30 heart complete, explant anniversary celebrated, video release, Patreon launched, and I had done the work. But then fear came back, bigger, louder, and I almost didn't feel it because I was too busy thinking I was past it. Well, today I want to talk about what really happens when fear returns and why that's actually where the real work begins. So welcome. Welcome to the Season of Self-Love Podcast. I am your host, Naomi&x, and I am so glad that you are here. As we continue to transform in life, so does this podcast. In Season 5, we're moving differently, more intentional, more action, less learning, more doing, less waiting, and more living. This is a space where we don't just talk about self-love, we practice it. We don't just discuss transformation, we live it. Every episode is an invitation to do the work with me, not just listen to me talk about it. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Naomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself intentionally is a foundation of true transformation. So get ready, get your journal, get your pen, because in Season 5, we're doing the work together. Now let's get started. All right, my beautiful people. Well, before we dive into today's topic, let's just ground ourselves, all right? So today we are acknowledging just something is real. The fear doesn't disappear, but that it tests you. So wherever you are right now, if you can just close your eyes. And I want you to get comfortable. Now I want you to put your hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. Now slowly release. Now I want you to say to yourself, I feel fear. Inhale. Exhale. And say, I don't let it stop me. Inhale. Exhale. Now I want you to say to yourself, I am the warrior, not the warrior. Inhale. Exhale. Now say, I am living embodied and I am living free. One more breath in. Release. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes and let's begin, all right? All right, my beautiful people. Again, this is Mindset Monday. I am your girly goddess, Naomi&x, here on the Season of Self-Love. You know, I want to be real with you all. I want to be real with you. I came back from vacation thinking I had conquered fear. You know, I did the 30 hard complete. Discipline was practical, was practiced. Inner knowing was assessed, right? And I thought I was past the fear, right? But then a few days back, it hit me. And when I say it hit me hard. Not in the I'm broken way, but in the fear that is testing to see if you really believe what you learned along the way. Are you really that girl? Are you really that person? Are you really that shit? And I know y'all like, Naomi, really, well, you just everything that has been happening for you throughout these years, especially what's been happening lately, that set with you, it did. And it was very shocking to feel it, to go through it. I just remember, I want to hold for a second. I just remember coming back and going to my altar on that Wednesday morning. And how I know how deep it was is because if you go back, there was no Action Wednesday episode, right? All right. So I remember spending time and sitting at my altar, and it was like a wash of fear just came. I don't know where it came from. Came from doubt, everything. Mind you, I just came back from vacation. I was able to, rest, go to the beach, spend time with my husband and my daughter. We went to a concert, so I was able to do those things. But for some reason, when I sat at that altar and even writing the things that I was grateful for, um, I just felt stuck. And in that stuckness, it was like fear just came, just arrived. And I don't even know. And I can honestly say at that time, I didn't even know where it was coming from. I didn't know where it was coming from. And then all of a sudden I felt drained. I felt drained. I felt overwhelmed, and I couldn't figure out why. Because again, I had done the work. I had done the work. And so then I realized, I said, the work isn't about fixing the fear. It's not about that. Even though I know that somewhere in my mind say, okay, once you do this, then you're fixed. I know that's not true. I know that. I speak about that all the time, about when your triggers come, what do you do? So this was to remind me that the work is about feeling. This work, what I'm doing right now, is about feeling the fear and moving anyway, not allowing it to shut you down. And the whole thing is, I have been trying to bypass it instead of feeling it. So let me say, when I talk about move away from the fear. Because an instance said, ain't that what you talking about with bypass? No. I actually had to allow myself to feel what that fear is. I had to give it a meaning, a definition of why it was there, and what am I to learn from it, and what I'm to learn from it. And sitting, and it was 2 days. It was 2 days that I kind of went through, and I want to say a little longer because I want to go into the weekend as well. But I was steady doing things, but even when I was doing things, it didn't feel structured or put together, if that makes sense. And so I had to step back, and I had to just relax and rest for a moment. Then I thought about, okay, let me go meditate. That's what we do. We go meditate to bring it down. But you know what I realized is that as I was meditating, because I meditate every day, right? But that ain't nothing but like checking the boxes. Done. I go to my altar every day and I pray and I meditate like clockwork. I've been doing it for the past 5-6 years. Every day. Clockwork. Even when I'm on vacation, I will go find me a corner. I don't have an altar there. Go find me a corner and I meditate, right? But I wasn't meditating with intention. I wasn't meditating with intention. When I come here and I do Mondays and Wednesday, I come with intentions when meditating because I want us to open up and be ready for whatever we're about to receive. Okay. When I'm sitting at my altars, especially on times that I'm doing challenges or when I'm doing a lot of work or whatever, I go in clockwork, like, okay, let me go sit. Let me do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And when it's like that, it's like, I want to say, and I'm trying to find the words right now. I want to say it's more mechanical. There it is. More mechanical. And even though my intentions are always good to find, but I have to remember about my thoughts. I have to remember about the words that I speak and what I say. And also what I'm asking for. So what I realized is that I wasn't asking, what am I supposed to feel? What am I supposed to hear? I was just sitting there. Even when I asked about my messages, is there a message for me today? I'm not just asking for a message. I'm not asking, what am I supposed to feel or what am I supposed to hear? So I was just sitting there.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey, it's Naomi. Before we get into today's episode, if you are on your self-love journey, you know it's not just the mindset work, right? It's taking care of your whole self. That's body included. That's why I partner with Goldie. Use my code AskNaomi at checkout for a discount on the ashwagandha gummies. That is my daily go-to for staying grounded. So the link will be in the show notes. All right? Okay, so let's get into it. And even within the messages, that was coming to me through a Bible scripture, through a card or whatever, was I hearing what the messages were saying? Or was I just being mechanical with it? Or was I just sitting there? And that's my meditation. That's just sitting, right? That's just sitting, right? So this morning I went to my altar. And this time I went to my altar different. Because I knew this Monday morning, I said, something has to be different. It has to be different for me. And I have to show why it's different. But not only that, I knew that I was coming to do this Mindset Monday. And I knew that going into our next series for next month, I know what that is. It's about fear versus faith. And it's just so ironic that I was feeling fear all week when I got back from my vacation and all weekend. And so as I was there, the base chakra card came up, courage and faith. And I'm going to tell you what the message said. The message says, I feel the fear and I do it anyway. I am ready and eager to move forward. But here's the thing also. On my altar, I have four candles that I lit, and they all colored. I have the red candle that is for my base, for my root chakra. I have the white candle that's for here, my my crown chakra. Then I have the yellow, that's my second chakra, and then I have the green. And the green is not only for chakra, but the green is for prosperity. And so this morning, my red candle usually light right up. But this time it took me 3 tries. It took me 3 tries to light that candle. And it lit and it go out. It lit, it go out. It lit, it go out. And again, I'm going to remind you with it, that is about my foundation, my safety, my root, and watching it and being hard to, I'm like, okay, hold on, what's happening? What is happening? And this is before I even sat down at the altar. This is just me lighting my altar and preparing my altar so I can. And so I was thinking that candle was telling me, wow, your foundation is being tested. Your foundation is being tested. Taking 3 times to light a candle that usually light like that. And I don't know if you guys remember me telling you, was it last week or week before last, about my yellow candle not lighting at all? Matter of fact, it's still not lit. And a lot of people say, well, maybe you need a new candle. No, I don't. And let me tell you why. It's because I tested my candle when I wasn't at the altar, when I was cleaning my altar and tested it, and it lit. When I tell you about spiritual energy, it's real. And some people would think that you're crazy, that you have some things going on with you, but energy is real. Spiritual spirits that are real. It's real. And so I know I'm getting off a little thing. So when I go to my altar every morning, I go with intentions to light my candles so I can sit in that energy and ready to receive whatever it is to offer me through messages, something, guidance. So when I sat there and I asked, okay, what are these three? What is this trying to tell me that I'm not hearing? I tried 3 times. What does these 3 tries mean to me, right? And so as I was sitting at the altar, I said, okay, well, try 1. Is this showing me that fear showed up? We know that. And that when that fear showed up, it's telling me you can't do this, that you're not stable enough. All right. And then the second time, to try 2, that's when doubt showed up. Maybe you need to rest. Maybe you're not ready. And then in my try 3, it lit anyway. And why? Because I felt the fear and I did it anyway. So it's not about being past the fear. It's about being a warrior with fear. And that's warrior spelled, because I know I have an accent, Warrior. Yes. Warrior. That is what that is. IOR, and not the worry, WORRY. Because I know sometimes we do find ourselves in that situation. It's so many things that's been happening this week, with people reaching out to me, people sharing so many different stories. And one of the things that I remember just speaking and talking to others about this week is about, we can't worry about what we have no control over. We cannot worry about what we do not have control over. And as I'm saying this right now, that was like, yes, that was for you as well when you told those individual people that. I'm going to say this just one more time. You cannot worry about something that you have no control over. It would drive you crazy. It would drive you crazy. It will. And so now let's talk about what's the difference between spiritual bypassing and the real work. So real work, it isn't meditating to just make the bad feeling go away, or journaling to release what you're feeling, or just saying affirmation to avoid emotions. The real work is sitting with that feeling and asking, what are you trying to teach me? And when meditating with intentions to understand, not escape. And I want to say that again, meditating with intentions to understand and not escape. A lot of times we do get caught up in, especially when doing the guided meditations, is that we want to lose ourselves. And sometimes it's for us to understand and not escape. And then moving forward, even though you are scared. Moving forward, even though you are scared. And so the title today is Living Embodied. Who am I when fear tries to run me? I am someone who feels it. I am someone who sits in it. I am someone who asks it, what is it trying to protect me from? And then I get my answers and then I move away. That's embodied living. That is not bypassing. What is that? That is integration. That is integration. All right. All right, my beautiful people. So I've shared with you, some of the things that I've been going through in the past week or so, but also it's truly the introduction into, which is, and I can't even say ironic because this is what my life is. This is what this platform and this purpose have truly been. Me truly living authentically and purposely and showing you all how I really get through it. How I really get, like right now, I don't have any makeup on. I have my hat on. I'm doing this right before my workout. I started a whole new challenge today, and I love challenges. Why I love challenges? Because it actually, not only does it push me, but it helps me to try new things. So I have a whole new challenge that I started today, and I'll share it towards the end with it, but I want to just do this myself. But today I'm in my workout gear, my hat, I got little earrings on just to jazz it up just a little bit. But this is me, authentically me. And this is how I show up, even when fear tells me you ain't enough. Because fear tells us that, or you ain't got the answer, or you not stable, or you not ready. But you are. But you are. You are so ready, more than you can ever imagine. You know how I tell my old self, go sit down in that corner. Sometimes you have to go tell that person to sit down in that corner. But first, after you ask, what is this trying to tell me? What am I not hearing? What am I not feeling? What am I not seeing? So in this closing, y'all, in our closing affirmations, I want you all to repeat after me, okay? Okay. I feel the fear. I feel the fear. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means feel and move anyway. I am not past fear. I am a warrior with fear. My foundation is solid, even when it's tested. I meditate with intentions. I journal with intention. I move with intention. I am living embodied. I am living free. I am reclaimed. I am unashamed. And I am unstoppable. All right. All right, my beautiful people. So you're going to feel drained sometimes after doing big work. You are going to feel drained sometimes after doing big work. You're going to have fear come back. And that's not a sign that you failed. That is a sign that you are awake to it now. Does that make sense? Because before you wouldn't have even noticed that what that drain feeling was. Now you do. What that is, that's growth. That is growth. And on Wednesday, we are going to talk about what to do when that happens. But for today, just know this, that candle that takes 3 tries and you light it anyway. That it takes 3 tries sometimes and you keep going. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I'm using my candle as a way to think you have to continue to keep going. Be persistent. Even if fear sets, even if doubt sets, come in. Keep going and light it anyway. So until Wednesday, my beautiful people, this is your Gertie Goddess Naomi Banks reminding you that fear, feel the fear, do it anyway. That is who you are now. That is who you are now. So I want you to be good to one another and yourselves, and always keep it sexy. And remember to love yourself first so you can love others well. And remember that self-love is now on, the season of self-love now on YouTube, so you can subscribe for the videos and our Flashback Fridays and the behind the scenes. And also this episode has been brought to you by Goli Aswaga Gummies and Elevate Me Self-Discovery app, your partners in your nervous system support in your spiritual practice. All right. So you all have an amazing Monday. Have a good one.